The world is better because you exist in it. It might not feel that way right now, but it's true. You're still here. You're still breathing. And maybe you haven't realized it yet. But your very existence is already a gift to this world. Part 1. The greatest misunderstanding about Stoicism. Many people think Stoicism means being cold, emotionless, detached from life. They say Stoics don't care. They suppress their feelings. They walk through life numb. But that's not Stoicism. That's a distortion. Real Stoicism is not about escaping emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about building light right in the heart of darkness. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about facing it with strength and dignity. Look at the life of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. He wasn't born into peace. He buried his children one after another. He faced wars, plagues, betrayal, and endless nights alone in military camps. His body was weak, his spirit tested beyond measure. And yet, he wrote these words: "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." Those weren't poetic lines. They were survival instructions. Marcus was reminding himself that even on the darkest mornings, he still had a duty. Not as an emperor, but as a human being. He didn't tell himself to be positive. He didn't lie to himself saying, "Everything's fine." He simply said, "Get up and do what you were born to do." We were not made to hide under blankets and chase comfort. We were made to rise, to move, and to serve. Stoicism isn't about pretending life doesn't hurt. It's about showing up, even when it does. When you wake up and the weight of life feels too heavy, remember Marcus. He faced more loss than most could imagine, and still got up to do his duty. Part 2. The cure for depression: loving human nature and serving others. Marcus wrote, "Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, the spiders, all going about their tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? Even the smallest creatures do their part without complaint. They don't waste time on self-pity. They act according to their nature." And that's what Marcus was reminding himself of, and us too. You must love your own nature. You must love what life demands of you. Depression often begins when we stop loving who we are. When we forget that there's meaning even in small acts. When we stop believing that we still have something to give. Marcus wrote more than 80 times in Meditations about serving the common good. He said, "Stop thinking about yourself. Stop obsessing over your problems. Think about what your duty is to others." That's how Stoics fight despair, by shifting their focus outward. When you feel lost, help someone else find direction. When you feel empty, give something. When you feel invisible, make someone else feel seen. Because service pulls you out of your own head. It breaks the prison of self-pity. And it reminds you you are still part of humanity. Part 3. Happiness is not pursued, it emerges. Today, people chase happiness as if it's a prize to win. But Marcus and Aristotle before him understood something deeper. Happiness is not pleasure. Happiness is flourishing. It is the result of living rightly with discipline, courage, and gratitude. You don't find happiness. You create it through action, through purpose, through virtue. As Viktor Frankl once said, "Happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue." And Marcus lived that truth. He was surrounded by chaos, but peace still lived inside him. Because he chose how to see the world. Marcus wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your mind is the painter, and your thoughts the brush. If you dwell on despair, your life will be shaded in gray. But if you train your mind to see meaning, even in pain, you will find light in every corner. He didn't write that sitting in luxury. He wrote it in a battlefield tent, grieving, sick, exhausted. And still, he believed in the color of gratitude. Because no matter the storm, you can choose your lens. You can decide how to interpret what happens. And in that decision lies your power. Part 4. 4 Stoic Tools to Overcome Depression. 1. Writing as Therapy. Meditations wasn't written for the world. It was Marcus's private conversation with himself. Each sentence was a rope he used to climb out of despair. He journaled to survive, to remember who he was, to stay awake when the world tried to numb him. So when life feels unbearable, write. Write the truth. Write your fear. Write until your thoughts become clearer than your pain. Because writing is how the soul breathes. And as Marcus proved, it can save you. 2. Asking for help is strength, not weakness. Marcus once wrote, "You're like a soldier storming a wall. So what if you have to reach up and ask a comrade for help?" Even the emperor asked for help. He didn't see it as weakness. He saw it as wisdom. Stoicism never meant isolation. It meant self-control, yes, but not self-abandonment. Strength is not about doing it all alone. It's about knowing when to reach out and when to hold on. 3. Preparing for the real world. Marcus wrote another famous line, "When you wake in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." Sounds dark, right? But it's not pessimism, it's preparation. He wasn't saying, life is terrible. He was saying, don't be surprised when it is. If you expect people to be perfect, you will be disappointed. If you expect challenges, you will be ready. That's Stoic realism, not cynicism. It's the mindset that turns frustration into understanding and anger into calm. 4. The final strength, kindness. Marcus ended meditations with this reminder. Concentrate on what you have to do. Your task is to be a good human being. Do it with kindness, humility, and without hypocrisy. Even when the world betrayed him, he chose compassion. Even when he had every reason to harden, he kept his heart open. That is true Stoic strength. Not emotionless, but controlled. Not cold, but warm, disciplined, and gentle. To be kind in a cruel world is the highest form of power. Conclusion: living for something greater than pain. Stoicism never promised that life would be painless. It promised that you would be strong enough to face it. So when life knocks you down, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, what is my duty now? Because that's what Marcus did. Every morning, he reminded himself, today I will rise. I will serve. I will be a human being. If you feel weak, remember, Marcus felt that too. If you feel lost, Seneca and Epictetus walked through that same darkness. They were not gods. They were human, just like you. The difference is that they refused to stay broken. You can begin again right now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. As Marcus said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The world is better because you exist in it. Not because you're flawless, but because you're still trying every single day. That is the Stoic way. That is Marcus's legacy. And that is how you overcome depression. Not by chasing happiness, but by living with meaning. Rise. Do the work of a human being. Love your nature. And make each day your act of gratitude to life itself. Share your story in the comments below. I Jason will read every single one. And if this video brought you value, like this video and subscribe to the channel to join us on this Stoic journey. In the comments, write down, "I will rise and do my duty," as your personal commitment to growth, to keep getting stronger one day at a time.